All right, hello again. This is Doyle Buehler, and I'm talking about building digital disruption within your existing business. And this is a writing challenge. I'm basically putting the pieces together and creating a book to be able to launch into the brave new world coming up. So anyway, these are just some videos that I've created to be able to talk about each of the sections as I write it and post this as well. So I'd love to get your feedback. Love to get some comments and questions. But basically it comes down to, we don't need to be a tech startup. We don't need to be, Uber, Facebook, or Tesla to be able to create what I call digital disruption. There's a few factors that obviously are very, very important, and that's kind of what I go through in the book. But it's a pathway to disruption. It's not just being a startup. And what I want to show is how businesses can actually create this digital disruption with a proper methodology and focus. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So today I want to talk about topic number 11, pathway to disruption. Let's get the words right. And again, I kind of go back to startups because obviously I've been involved in a few over the years, and knowing that yes, there is some sort of excitement and some sort of great interest in that because you're starting fresh, and I believe that a lot of businesses lose rather that youthfulness, that excitement of, hey, we're a startup, let's go do something startup-y. So that's kind of where that comes from. But in sort of the things that I've seen and done, there's kind of four stages in this pathway to disruption. The first is technology and technical focused. The second one is process-based methodologies. The third one is strategic platform development. And finally, the fourth is this disruptive environment that many businesses can create. So, and they are step by step. You have to kind of progress through each one. The interesting thing is that a lot of startups can kind of move quickly through these, and again, that's sort of why I'm presenting them and I'm talking about them is because they can do that. But a lot of businesses currently, they really get stuck in this technology side of things. So they're constantly worried about updating their website. They're worried about getting X number of Facebook followers. They're worried about this network connection on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever the case may be. But they're really stuck in those technical detail side of things. And if you ever read the book, one of the watershed books that I've read, watershed moments rather, is Michael Gerber's The E-Myth, and he kind of talks about that. Is that a lot of businesses they create technical businesses because that's what you typically do, is you take your technical skills and you decide that you want to start a business. So that's kind of where you go from there. But the problem is that we get really caught up in that. And again, we don't really think about growing the business. We don't really think about developing the business. We're just kind of worried about, oh, I need this website and I need this page and I need this MailChimp and I need this Infusionsoft set up. So they're really sort of just fixated, I guess, on the actual technology, which is fundamentally slowing them down because they can't sort of see what's next and what they need to be able to do on subsequent steps. So that's kind of where a lot of businesses get stuck, and they stay there for a very long time because they can't really see what's outside of that. But the businesses that do, they kind of move to step number 2, which I call the process-based methodologies. So this is where you start to understand, well, yeah, there's a lot more to this business, and I have to understand that there's processes and there's steps and there's methods that I have to go in terms of towards developing business, or towards creating websites or web pages or creating campaigns, or those kinds of things. So these businesses start to understand that there's a process here, and if I can identify that process, I can then replicate it, I can scale it, I can do all kinds of great stuff with it. But the fact is that you have to be able to recognize these processes to be able to actually utilize them and to be able to scale them or do whatever you want with them. But a lot of businesses miss that second step because, don't miss it, but don't identify it as an actual progressive step in their business, and they don't develop processes, right? They don't develop a methodology. So what they're doing tomorrow could be different, and what they're doing a year from now could be different as well. So there's no sort of systemization. That's it. With that, and that can be part of a downfall where you get stuck in these ruts because there's nothing kind of saying, hey, we're organizing our business, we're moving forward as well. So that's really, really important that, again, get past the technology, get past the processes, so identify those processes and how you deliver those to your customers is super, super key, because if you're not delivering a consistent product, that's probably because you don't have a process behind it. So it's very important that you start to build that in. The third step, as I mentioned, is strategic platform development. And again, this is part of the 5 Ps that I deliver in terms of the overall methodology, the process of digital disruptions. But for lack of a better word, strategic platform development is basically saying, what does your company stand for? How do you actually produce value from sort of that strategic level? And again, a lot of businesses don't actually engage that strategic side of their brain of their business. They simply want to offer more, they want to offer different products or that sort of thing. But it's really important to be able to understand that if you have a strategic vision of these processes and of your business, then that actually helps you identify opportunities, that helps you see what's coming, it helps you, identify competitors and respond to them as well, and it helps you work in a, perhaps your industry has a lot of sensitivities to certain things like stock market and real estate sales and those kinds of things, banking and finance and that sort of thing. So you have to be able to look at that from a strategic side, because otherwise you're really just kind of sometimes chasing your tail. And again, that's where a lot of businesses fail, is they don't actually sit down to develop a strategic direction, what I would call a strategic architecture, where you're actually building upon your strategy and not just saying, oh, well, we're going to be a great company, we're going to be the number 1 service provider in our industry, which to me is honestly crap. So it's beyond just saying these souped up words and making them actually work, and that's again what a strategic platform is for. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So you talk, a lot of us talk about strategy, but a lot of us don't do it, and we kind of again get sidetracked by many things. And if you're getting sidetracked, then unfortunately you don't have that strategic development set up properly. So finally, the last step of the progression, evolution of a company, or however you want to describe it, is sort of creating this disruptive environment, right? And that's key, because that's obviously where we want to get to, because if you're able to pass those 3 steps in previously, then you've got that environment to be disruptive. And I think a lot of businesses miss that because they're not sure how to get there. Again, they're worried about the technology. They don't know what's coming next. They don't have any processes to deliver consistent value as well. So they can't get to this disruptive environment. And if you can't, then you're going to, as I've said in other sections as well, you're going to be, stuck the wave is going to crash over you, and it's going to be, detrimental to your business. So if you can put these pieces in place, you need to be able to understand how to do that. So how to do that? Well, number 1, stop focusing on the technology, right? Just focus on the delivery of your value. Get technical people to technical expertise, where needed, to fix things and adjust things and that sort of thing. You need to be, as the business leader, focusing on other things more important. And don't let technology sort of handcuff you either, because again, a lot of people do that. A lot of businesses do that. Second way is map out your processes. Set up a plan or a schedule to producing all your processes. How do you do it? How do you deliver value? How do you, create new clients? How do you develop your business and that sort of thing, client acquisition and all this kind of stuff. And again, that's kind of what I'm doing in this book also. And then create a digital strategy as well. And this is really important. This is the why in your business. This is your purpose. And again, this is one of the other sections that I talk about in more detail. So I'm not going to kind of go through that, but creating a purpose, making sure that it's important and it makes sense and it's able to pull your business together from a strategic side of things. So then you can actually unload things. You can focus your business on that 4th step, the creating the disruptive environment, which is super, super important. So, all right, so that's basically it. Disruption really is a journey. It's not sort of a place. It's how do you get there and how do you sort of create that value along the way. And so hopefully that was helpful. Again, this is topic number 11 on pathway to disruption. If you do have any comments, any feedback, any questions, would love to hear from you. Please, get in touch. However, through the through the YouTubes or the Facebooks, that kind of stuff. Yeah, just kidding. Anyway, if you do want to get updates from time to time, go to disruptors.digital, and I'm setting up some processes where you'd be able to get additional pieces on the information, additional pieces on the book, that sort of thing. So that's about it. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you online.